Okay, welcome back. So I'm now recording video 2 for you, where we're going to talk about some of the tactical decisions that we're going to make within our organisations. So you familiarise yourself with the industry and what the industry makes and the various competitors within that industry. We know that we're starting off from an equal slate. Okay, so each company exactly identical because they've been split into identical 6 companies from the split of the monopoly. So what we're going to do now is simply, I'm going to walk you through what the simulation kind of looks like a little bit. So hopefully, if you've watched the first video, you've done some of these quizzes and you should have finished the situation analysis. Now, what we're going to do together now is we're going to complete the rehearsal tutorial. So the rehearsal tutorial clearly introduces us to the simulation platform and the spreadsheets that we're going to use. And it's our sandpit, essentially. This allows us to make decisions like what happens if we raise the price, what happens if we sell off factory space, what happens, okay? So let's have a look at this rehearsal. So I'm going to follow some instructions, okay? So hopefully you can see my screen. So we're going to make a set of decisions and I'm obviously going to step you through. Now, on the day of the event, we're either going to, if you're comfortable enough to make your own decisions, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to step through all of these decisions with you, with each individual team. That may take a little bit longer. So hopefully we can do as much as we can on the day and learn from that. So we're going to make those decisions. Where we can do 4 years worth of decisions. So let's see how we go. So if you understand how to perform the 6 basic tactics, so tactical decisions, you will be able to develop and execute a strategy for your company. So the tactics are in terms of how do we reposition a product? How do we make a new product? How do we schedule production and manage our inventory? How do we modify our plant and equipment? How do we raise money and debt? And how do we invent a new product? So there's also a quiz to do at the end of it, and we'll see how we can step our way through it. All right, so let's start with R&D. It gives us some instructions, okay? So I'm not going to watch the video, but it does give us some instructions there. So let me just see if I can open this. Okay, so we want the R&D spreadsheet. Okay, so this is what the R&D spreadsheet looks like. So these are our 5 existing products. Never mind the names because clearly the simulation has pre-given them names. So Able is your traditional product, Acre your low end, Atom is high, Aft is performance, and Agape is your size product. And again, be familiar with the perceptual map. And this spreadsheet gives you quite a bit of information in regards to your material cost and the age profile of the technology. So remember, it's not my age or your age, it's the age of the technology since it was released. And obviously some buyers are more concerned about that than other segments, aren't they? So what we're going to do is change a product's performance and size, repositions it on the perceptual map. And what we want to do is slightly improve Able's repositioning to 5.8 and size 14.2. We're going to change the mean time before failure. We're going to increase that to 18,000. And then we're going to hit recalculate to see what happens. Pay attention to the material costs and the age profiles. Let's hit recalculate. So here we go. The age of revision. So this product is going to come out in so the product is going to be 1.7 years of age when it comes out. And remember that the traditional buyers, they value the age of the technology. They like a product to be about around 2 years of age. So we want to, when we reposition, we want to make it just slightly better, because remember that this drift moves throughout the year as well. Now, this revision date confused me a little bit, because currently the year is, can you see here, up here, very small, it thinks it's 2016. So currently we're in year 1 of 2016. So this product, and we are making the decisions on the 1st of January 2016, okay? When we start the real simulation, the dates are going to be the same, like current, but at the moment in this rehearsal, they're not. Okay, so this product, because we've only made small revisions to it, is only going to take about 4 months to take out of, to be ready to be sold to the public. And that R&D cost has is around $272,000 there. These figures are in thousands, okay? Pay attention to that. So now on the perceptual map, you can see that there is 2 ABLEs, a black ABLE and this red ABLE, and that red ABLE is the reposition product. Now let's reposition acre to 13,000 mean time before failures. Now remember, mean time before failure is how many times does this product work before it conks out. It was 14,000. We're going to reduce it to 13,000. Pay attention to what happens to the material cost when I hit recalculate. So this is acres. Old material cost was $7.36. Now that we've reduced its reliability, the material cost is $7.30. Now, this product isn't going to take very long to take out of revision, out of R&D, because we're just changing the materials. We're using less reliable materials or lower quality materials. So we're not really reconfiguring or changing any of the screws or how the thing looks. We're just changing what it's made of. And that's a fairly cheap R&D there. And you'll notice that there's no new acre on this perceptual map. That's because we haven't really repositioned it. Its performance and size is going to stay the same. But now look at its age. So the age of that technology has halved. Now we've got to be careful, because do all customers want, you know, what age of this? This is a low-end customer. What do they prefer? They prefer a lower cost and an older technology. Now let's change Adam's size, position, performance to 9. We're going to make it better, and we're going to reduce its size, and then we're going to increase the material. We're going to buy better material goods for that product. Let's have a look at what happens there. Now you can see that this product is taking much longer to come out of R&D. So we're going to have to sell the old version of that Adam product up until October 18, just like you would with any other, think of, I don't know what iPhone they're up to, but is it 14? Okay, so up until 14 was ready to sell, they were still selling 13. Okay, so it's not that the product will run out. We still have the Adam product, just the newer version is going to come out in October. And now its age is 1.3. But you can see that that R&D cost is much higher than the previous two because we've made the performance much better and the sides much smaller, and we're using better material costs, better material quality. Let's do the same to aft, and we're going to make it better performing, smaller. And we're going to increase the mean time before failure to 20. So call it, it was 25,000 hours. Now let's call it 26,000 hours. The size product, we're going to put in a new one, 4.7 performance, making the performance better. And we're going to change the size down. So remember that this could be for a pacemaker. So we might want to increase the reliability there. So let's recalculate. Now we can see that the more R&D projects that are in place at any one time, the longer that they might take. See, this atom product was supposed to come out in October 2016, but because we've added other projects to it, the revision dates have slightly changed. Okay, so I'm happy with where these products are on the perceptual map because I can see, because I've got the expertise, I can see that that perceptual map, when it drifts, is going to, those products will sit in the ideal spot at some point. Now, have a look. That's a 2,650,000 we have to consider. Finance has to consider that when we make our decisions. We're going to have to consider what our R&D cost was to make sure that we've got enough money there. So in the menu, we want to click select file and click update official decisions. And we're just going to, press save. So hopefully that's, look, I do that twice because I'm a bit OCD. So you don't have access to this at this point in time. You're following me at the moment. Now, let's make some marketing decisions. Now, sorry, just before I move on, in the R&D, we could have actually created different products there as well. So it depends on what our strategy is, depending on if we're cost leaders or product differentiators. We need to think about what products do we want to focus on. So before I start making any new products, I have to think about what it is that I want to achieve at the end of this. Let's go into marketing. So we'll open up the marketing spreadsheet. So in our marketing spreadsheet, this is where we set prices and the promotional and sales budgets. So remember that some buyers are more sensitive than others to price. Your customers are aware of your product to some extent, and some can access the product. So again, remember that we've been split from a monopoly, and the monopoly is not really concerned with whether customers are aware or can access the product, because again, monopolies tend to be price setters and not overly consumer focused. So again, I'm kind of flying through this a little bit because I do want to record most of this, and I want to make sure that you guys are following before you get there on the day. So we're going to set Abel's marketing mix to $29. So think about the buying criteria, and maybe you can look at the buying criteria as I'm making these decisions. Abel is a traditional product. I've increased the price. I'm also going to increase the promo budget. So promo is in terms of awareness, increasing the awareness. And the sales budget is increasing my sales force, making the product better accessible and increasing sales channels. Now we're going to look at last year's, how much did we sell last year of Able? I think it was 999,000. Now we've got to be aware that each market segment has some growth, because remember, our products are in high demand because there's so many companies that use sensors for so many things. So how many products do we think we're going to sell this year? Well, okay, if we sold 1 million last year and there's 10% growth rate, we could use a simplistic method like that and predict that we might sell around 1.6 million. So they've actually, we're going to follow their instructions. So we're going to increase the sales forecast to 1.85 million. So remember that these forecasts are used to calculate your pro forma statements, and we'll have a look at that in a minute as well. So now we're going to drop the price on acre to $20.50. We're going to increase its sales budget by a little bit and increase the sales force. And the forecast of that is 2.5 million. On the day, we're going to talk about how we use accounting information a little bit more to come up with these forecasts. Just kind of follow me along just for now. With the Atom product, we're going to increase the price because we know that the high-end customers aren't really price sensitive. So then we're going to increase the sales budget for Atom to 1 million, and the sales forecast of that product is around 500. What are we doing with AFT? We're going to raise its price too by $34 because that customer is not really price sensitive either. Going to increase the sales budgets, and the forecast for that is about 600,000 units, I should say. And then we're going to make this one slightly more expensive, $34.50. We're going to increase the sales budget to 950,000, 1,100 for the sales budget, and forecast of 550. So let's recalculate. And again, let's have a look at the gross revenues, what it's predicting that we're going to sell. Again, the simulation makes the assumption what we enter in our forecast will be sold, because they're making an assumption that we've made good products that the customers will want and that we've priced them accordingly. So currently, it's giving me a gross revenue there of about 163 million, some variable costs. Contribution margins seem to be quite healthy. Okay, so again, let's update these decisions and save. What I might do is, I know this is a little bit painful. What I'll do is I'll stop the video now and I'm going to record a separate video because I'm conscious that the files are going to be too large. So I'll jump in and record the next one straight away.